I've been stuck with ear training with the melody parts. The exercise is playing back the melody that I'm hearing on the piano-like thing. I'm not really progressing. Any advice? Okay. Yeah, melody ear training is like one of the most valuable things about ear training, I think, because the melody ear training is what helps us understand the whole system of intervals, and which is what, you know, our program is heavily based around, is understanding intervals and developing, like we've said in a couple of different ways, developing a relationship with each interval, so that when I play a third, if I play a note and then a third away, there's a certain emotional response or a certain feeling that I'm already familiar with that that I would intentionally want to create by playing a third. Same thing with a minor third, right? So to bring that, you know, that tangent kind of back into your question, Julia, the first piece of advice I'd give you is really focus on the intervals and focus on the feeling of each interval, because each interval does have like a specific and like a bodily reaction or emotional reaction. So one thing that you could do is, let's say you're playing like a major scale. I just played a D, so I'm going to start this on D. And you might want to just play the third and then like just keep going up. Play the fourth, play the fifth, play the sixth, play the seventh, and play the octave. And really just feel what each of those relationships do to you. So that when you're listening to a melody, let's say like the melody is a 3-note melody and it's something like simple, right? I stayed in the same key in relationship to D. I went 3, 4, 5. But obviously you're just listening to that melody and not really knowing that at first, but that's what you want to listen for, is what intervals are these? Like, what would be the root note of this group of notes? And then once you can identify what the root note is, or let's say like the home bass note, then you can start to identify which intervals they are. So third, fourth, fifth. Now, there's lots of different ways to get used to the intervals. I would recommend beginning with like the arpeggio intervals, so root, third, fifth, and then the seventh. Those are all going to be the foundational ones, and when you can really recognize those, then the other ones become a little bit easier, because let's say you have a 6, you know that you can hear that it's close to a 7th or it's close to a 5th. And then you have this note. You can in your mind kind of sing or imagine da, da, 7, 6. Okay, it's 1 down from the 7th, or 6, 5. That's the 5, 5, 6, 1. And so that's another thing that you can do that I feel like is probably one of the most valuable ear training exercises that you could just do on your own, is just singing the intervals. So starting with like, you can, if you want to, you can do this while playing a chord on guitar. I'm in the key of D, so I'm just going to stay here, play like an open string D chord. Da would be my root, root, second, third. And then you can start to sort of improvise. Third, fifth, third, second, third, fourth, third, root. Now, I'm singing the numbers, which is not like extremely sexy or musical or beautiful or anything, but so I'm not recommending that you have to like sing out the numbers, but you do want to know what the numbers are. So it could be helpful to sing the numbers. Third, fourth, third, fourth, third, second, fifth, root. So that could be helpful, or you could just sing the notes da 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 da, and just imagine in your mind what those numbers would be.